As for the upcoming panel discussion, we'll be hearing more about the driving digital transformation using futuristic solutions across enterprises. We'll be having a collection of experts speaking about this topic. As for our moderator, it will be led by Majd Aldeen Masriah, the venture CTO, enterprise IT architect from Creative Doc. Let's welcome him on stage. Joining him will be Suliman Khader, the Group Chief Information Officer from Al-Faisaliah Group Holding. We still have 3 more. We have also Abdullah Alfahaid, the Chief Information Officer from Ajlan and Bros Holding. Stephan Paul, the RVP Emerging Market from DataRobot. Mazhar Soorty, the Chief Customer and Data Officer from Petromin Corporation. I'll leave you now for the discussion.
Okay, so thank you so much for having us here. I would like to thank first the panelists, the organizer for having us here today. So as we said that our main subject today is about the futuristic solutions for the enterprises. My first question to Mr. Suliman is why the adoption of the futuristic solution is fundamental for any organization now to drive an immediate and strategic business values, do you think?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am Suliman Khader, CIO of Al-Faisaliah Group. We are based in Riyadh and operate across Middle East. We have 6 industries covering, food service, restaurants business, the retail, electronics, healthcare. We went listing company last year, and also basically we have the dairy business and we have the pharmaceutical industry. Definitely the futuristic solution is very important for the business value creation. And when it comes to business value creation, the top things that it came to our mind, support growth and improved efficiency. Let me give you an example from Faisaliah Group. We have several consumer business. We always aim to have a step change in customer outcome. And basically, to focus on digital customer strategy. We started with, creating and developing e-commerce solution. It was a basic one. It was a long journey. And we talk about talents. Remember, we share same talents in this one. So basically, the key recommendation we have here that our e-commerce system, it make us move from the traditional retail to digital business. It enable growth in digital channel, covering digital items, digital services, in the B2C, into the B2B. From our learning, we focus to have our software is our competitive advantage. So we invested heavily into the software development, not to have a standard e-commerce solution. This improves the customer experience and improve basically the growth. This support our journey as a Faisaliah Group, and we spin off the channel into a separate company because it has a sizable business in the electronic and gaming business. So when it comes to AI, we leverage the data and AI engine to improve the experience using something called CDP, which is the customer data platform. So as per the previous session, we see, the data value chain. We talk about gather and analyze and act. So what we have done into the CDP, we capture all the customer touch point across the whole cycle and channel touch point in mobile app, in the website, in the service center. It was captured through the CDP. It was analyzed by an AI engine, and it helped us to automate the customer personalized marketing automation. This helped us to improve growth, to improve customer retention, improve loyalty, and also, to have better ROI for the marketing spend. So when it comes to customer strategy and customer life cycle, we should have solutions that support customer acquisition and customer retention, that help to have sustained growth and help to have also competitive advantage. This is basically for the growth. When it comes to improved efficiency, we leverage in Al-Faisaliah Group the digital workplace using a low-code solution. This low-code solution, it was a game changer. It helped us covering, digital workplace across more than 10,000 employees in very short period of time. This basically create efficiency and support business workflow, mobile app, and help also to save time and effort, employees' productivity, working anywhere and operate anywhere. But this is the key topics that I can say related to the futuristic solution.
Thank you so much. So I think everything now is going around time and having faster, getting things done. So when you just mentioned the RPA, you just mentioned also the AI. Everything now is reducing the time for the market and having things done and analyzed faster.
Yes.
So I would like to ask the same question for Mr. Abdullah. Why? I will just repeat the question for you. Why the adoption for the futuristic solution, you think, for any organization is important to deliver immediate and strategic business values?
Thank you for the... Hello?
Yes.
Thank you for the question. First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why to adopt? Definitely the answer could be maybe in one word, which is to survive, right? So to survive, in order for the business to survive today, they have to adopt to the futuristic solutions. And the futuristic solutions, there are many now in the world. Start from the AI, Internet of Things, data analytics, metaverse, augmented reality, and so on. So in order to adopt, the business has to plan for something new, which is the digital transformation. And this digital transformation today, most of the companies, they think it is digitizing their environment or digitalizing the environment. But digital transformation is something, has nothing, but it is more on changing the business model and adopting to the new world. Some definitions about digitization, people think that this is the digital transformation, but it is not. Digitization is converting from paper to PC, for example. Digitalizing or digitalization is using this technology. But digital transformation is changing the business from a physical model to a software model. And why you have to adopt? Maybe we all know about, there's a lot of examples of companies, they did not adopt to the futuristic solutions. It could be Nokia, for example. And it could be a lot of companies that we all know and we have read about them. So digital transformation is contains of, it is data and technology. So digital is the technology itself and using this technology, and transformation is the change that you have to apply to your business. And this change, it might impact either your customers, not either, but it will impact your customers and your employees. So there is two type of change that has to be happen within the business, internal and external. In order for me to reach to the level where I will become a smart business and deliver smart product. This is in brief.
Thank you so much. So, moving to the next question, mainly targeting Mr. Stephan on this one. So, how to select the technology selection, actually, we are talking about here. The right set of technologies amidst the plethora of available tech solutions to address your business models and your business needs, of course.
Great. Can you hear me? Nice to meet you all. My name's Stephan. I'm the Vice President for DataRobot, the enterprise AI platform for this event. And I'm excited to meet you all after the event at the booth as well. I think I really like the idea around survival. The most important thing is around survival and the adoption of technologies. And that really starts with understanding what is the business problem that we're solving. What are the actions that we're going to take to drive that and the value that it's going to deliver? And then think about which technologies are going to be solving that. So it really starts with the business problem. How are we going to be solving that? How does the process of actioning that change when you use different technologies? Business processes are consistent across different organizations. And depending on that process, different technologies need to be applied. So for example, we spoke about robotics earlier as well. Robotics is a great tool for rules-based automation. Sometimes you'll need to use technologies like artificial intelligence or machine learning to make predictions, right? And that goes from using dashboards for business intelligence and doing prescriptive analytics to then using AI and machine learning to do predictive analytics. So that's that journey from BI to AI as well. And then, of course, you have the more advanced technologies like ChatGPT and chatbots as well, which are really ultimately evolving all different industries, all different parts of the business, but all really being applied to drive the business problem. So to answer your question, really focus on the business problem and then think about how does that impact people, process, and then what are the technologies that you use to drive that change and drive value.
Thank you so much. So having the same question for Mr. Mazhar. So how do you think the selection of technologies now is crucial to address your business needs?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mazhar Soorty, and I'm the Chief Customer and Data Officer for Petromin Corporation. Selecting a right technology that is supposed to serve the organizational business needs is always a daunting challenge. And it's not an easy process. However, if an organization adopts a systematic approach, then this daunting challenge can be made relatively easy. As Stephan was mentioning, your starting point should be understanding what your organizational needs are. And when we talk about needs, you may want to look into what is broken that you are trying to fix. Is it the operational efficiency that you want to gain? Is it the competitive advantage that you are targeting at? Or as Salman was mentioning in the earlier question, is it the customer experience that you want to use as an element of differentiation? Having a north identified would enable an organization to select the right set of technologies, and more importantly, it would also help you understand where you as an organization stand in the learning curve. The second step that I would suggest is assess your own technology stack as well, because there could be possible situations wherein we are ingesting new technology pieces. Either we are upgrading our existing technology stack by putting layers on top of it, or maybe our legacy systems are too difficult to maintain or their cost of operations is too high that we have decided that let's replace them. The third thing that I would suggest is whenever you are out there buying a technology piece, do a proper research. What is out there available? You may want to have consulting help. Maybe you want to meet different solutions provider as we have today. And the basic purpose of this step is to understand what the solution has to offer, what features and functionalities are out there that you can utilize and then ingest. The other thing that I would suggest is that before you go select a technology, do a comparative analysis. So you need to have a proper evaluation criteria that why would you pick as an organization a technology piece? Does it gel well with the existing technology stack that you have? Is the implementation easy? What it would take from the organization to realize the maximum benefits. Again, for example, recently, as part of my current engagement with Petromin Corporation, we have deployed CDP, as Salman was mentioning. And our purpose of deploying CDP was that we have ton of data available across the 8 business verticals that we operate, but we were not in a position to use that data. So data was residing in different data pots. We had no understanding what the data quality is, whereas as we were hearing Steve, one of the essential fundamentals that need to be available within the organization is understanding what data can possibly offer. And data offering will eventually depend upon what kind of data quality that you have. So our purpose or our intent behind technology investment into CDP was that we would like to stitch the different data pools into one singular data repository that we may call it as a data lake. Then we established different use cases so that we could use data to generate insights, and then insights would enable businesses to take effective actions. So after that implementation, now as an organization, we have got a complete 360-degree view of our customers. For example, in a specific case of automotive, we make money off the customer and we make money off the vehicles that we sell. So now today we understand the decision drivers, the customer behaviors around their purchase decisions. And likewise, when it comes to customer acquisition, customer retention, and maximizing the customer lifetime value, we use data and insights to engage them. So the last step, coming back to the question that we have, that how are we going to select, is that before you embark upon investing money, maybe a proof of concept could be a good idea for you, because that is going to help you understand, are the offered features and functionalities of a technology piece are good enough for you, or maybe you need to have some course correction. And finally, the cost and benefit analysis. Because at the end of the day, as Salman was mentioning, for example, we ingest technologies to make ourselves better. And we say better in terms of operational efficiencies, a competitive advantage, more customer acquisition. It has to translate into a dollar value. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So just to summarize, yeah, Mr. Abdullah.
I just would like to add one point related to the change. Every process has to be well defined. So within your organization, asking as what my colleague, you have to ask the why question. The why question has to be right. So you need to know the why question that you are asking. Why? Because well defining the process itself, it is very critical to the business. Why? Because they change, and there's many companies, they have changed, and there is also something called change saturation. So the change to this new business model, it might impact the business and shut down the business. So for you as a leaders or a IT tech, you have to understand the process from the business. Business means each function Each business, you have to understand the process. What's the process? Not the workflow, but the process itself. You need to understand the policy, the procedures, and the process itself. Then you have to know, because within the process there is yes or no. There is yes for another process, sub-process, or no for ending the process. It depends. But this is not a workflow only, but it is a process. So we'll defining the process will make the change happen positively. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you have any inputs?
Yeah, I would like to add, we are now in a small world, and we need to accelerate through innovation network. In Faisaliah, we do a lot doing maturity assessment. So sometimes the business are not aware really what is the complete business demand. So this help us, we use, for example, Gartner, we use other practice globally to help us assess what are the gaps in the ERP, what are the gaps in the HIS, what are the gaps into the BI, and using systematic approach to have the gaps and to have what is the next level that we are targeting for. So the new solution, new vendor, we can ask, as my friend talked about, the right question. So we have the full criteria of the demand that we need to ask. Number two, when it comes to the vendors, I'm sure that everyone will ask about, as per the reference industry, if he have any references in the same scape, if he have any references in the Middle East, in the region, if he have done a solution that resolve the same challenge before. It should be cost effective because everything will have a budget. It should integrate with your ecosystem application architecture. It cannot work silo.
That's right. So just to summarize this, guys, so when it comes to technology selection, we are looking for having a framework. This framework should mainly consist of things like mainly looking to the functionality first. So is this technology or this tool is targeting and achieving our short-term, mid-term, and long-term functionalities that we are looking for? The second is the reliability. How much is this tool is reliable in terms of the scalability and also the availability, and also sometimes the data recovery. The third thing is how much is this tool is integratable to our internal systems and to the external systems as well. The fourth thing is the usability. How much is this can be usable? How much is this is also maintainable? How much it's also able to be interacted with other systems as well. One of the main things we need also to look for is the compatibility. So when it comes to the compatibility with the regulations, with the culture, now regulations are a big challenge for us in order to, when we select the technologies. So we need these technologies to be compatible and compliant to our regulations, specifically when we are acting in some critical mission, let's say, domains on business sectors as well. So this is an overall, I think. The last question I will go for is, what do you think, guys, are the limitations? The main limitations that we have and the main challenges in this kind of digital transformation in terms of the, of course, the technology selection and also having those futuristic solutions onboarded inside our ecosystems. So I would like to start with Mr. Mazhar.
Thank you. One of the biggest roadblocks when it comes to implementing a digital-first culture within the organization is the resistance to change. Because yes, our people, our fellow colleagues in our organizations have gotten accustomed to a certain way of doing things. And moving them away from those traditional ways could always be a challenge and a biggest pitfall which any organization needs to manage. So the next million-dollar question would be, how? So in order for people to look at a picture differently, you need to be very inclusive in terms of making them understand, why are you investing in technology? how tomorrow could look different for your organization, how it can benefit the organization from a customer perspective, realizing more value from our operations, how it can make their life easy when we automate manual processes, how decision making can be improved because we would have correct data rendering correct dashboards and hence reducing time to market. So I would say change management is one of the critical pieces which organizations need to invest as part of implementing a digital first culture. And that would also highlight the competency gaps that one has to address, because implementing a digital first culture would require your manpower to be skilled. And there you may want to introduce training programs. You may want to acquire help from organizations who help upskill your manpower. Because at the end of the day, these technology investments are quite substantial, and value realization is generally comes over the years. And we need to be aware of all the pitfalls that we would have to manage to make sure that we get the return on our technology investment.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Stephan, shall we start?
Yes.
So, limitations and challenges.
Yeah, the first thing I'd think about is what Stephen mentioned in the first speaking session around education and awareness. You have a whole host of buzzwords, AI, machine learning, chatbots, RPA, BI, all of these different buzzwords. So the first piece to the puzzle is how do we systematically educate and build an awareness program so that everybody in the organization, from the executives down to analysts, are able to understand what the technologies are, and then think about how can that be applied to the business. And that can be broken down into different levels, right? For example, with the DataRobot team, we spend a lot of time with our clients in partnership with STC in a program called AI for Executives. And then what that really is an executive level training and awareness on what is AI. How can that solve business problems? What are some of your peers doing in this particular market or particular industry? How is that being applied to drive value and adoption of this technology? So that's the executive level. I ran this workshop a few months ago with one of the big four consultancies, and we had about 45 different CFOs across the world joining this AI for Executives workshop. And off the back of those kind of 2 slots of 3-hour sessions over the space of 2 days, we identified 35 different use cases for AI to support their finance function, and over $130 million in value. So the idea here is you want to educate, but also flex those muscles that we've just built, and actually start to apply that to their business so that they can start to generate ideas, start to build a pipeline of AI and machine learning use cases, and hopefully execute on that. And having that top-down executive approach is really important to show, and from a change management perspective, is really about showing that the adoption of AI or machine learning or these futuristic technologies is a strategic priority for this business, but also allows for building a brand within the market to show that you are innovating, show that you're applying these technologies, to hire more data scientists, to upskill your business analysts and your data scientists to be able to use these technologies. So there's different education streams that you can think about from an executive level to a data science and technical level, and then to a business analyst level. How are they being upskilled and enabled to be able to use these technologies if they don't have a background in machine learning or AI as well? And then I think you mentioned another piece around how is the process changing, right? And how does that impact the business decisions that are being made? One thing that I think is really important when we're thinking about implementation is around incentives. So another really good example is with one of our global banking clients. They were looking at reducing churn or attrition of customers. How do we increase the customer lifetime value or decrease the number of customers that are leaving after 3 months. And we built a model, we validated the model, we built the business case around the value. But the really important thing off the back of that was implementation and making decisions. So what are the actions that are going to be taken? And we actually learned with this bank that the relationship managers on the ground working with these customers, they're actually incentivized by bringing logos, bringing in more customers. They didn't care about how long are they going to be in the bank, how much money are they spending. For them, it was just about landing a new customer. And of course, when you're implementing a solution to help reduce the customers leaving, the incentives of that relationship manager actually has to change, because it's less about incentivizing them to land a new customer, but it's really about making sure that the customer is there for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and spending a certain threshold as well. So another thing to think about is when you're adopting these technologies, and this is a challenge as well, is when you're adopting these types of technologies, how is the person whose role is changing, how are their incentives mapped to that business process, and how will that change when we're ultimately trying to solve the problem, in this case around churn, and how do we incentivize them to adopt these technologies and ultimately drive value for the business as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I can see Mr. Suliman is eager to answer this question.
Yeah. Basically, challenges may different from one industry to another.
Yeah.
But as our team highlighted, change management, yes, talents is a big item. We need to keep improving our team to start with, and not to save, acquiring critical resources that will be helpful for the strategy. Key item, which is also across, is related to the PMO office. So we need to make sure, we have KPI for the projects, we have success criteria, and we track progress very well. And, we accelerate through innovation network. We'll not reinvent the wheel. If the practice exists with other partners, so we can leverage partners, leverage resources, and get our organization access to these resources. And the last thing, definitely talking about cybersecurity. So the more we go digital, the more we will have, threats, and we need to have a strategy to support that threats.
Definitely. Mr. Abdullah, you want to add anything?
Challenges and limitation, I think it's all around us, but we can overcome those challenges. The most important thing is to focus on the security, because the most also important thing of the digital transformation is the data. So the challenges we are talking about and limitation is all about data, how you are protecting those data and making them available online, because digital transformation is online services, right? So everything, all your data is online, and it has to be available and protected. So this changes. It has to be, you don't want to plan to a new business model and your data like a Swiss cheese, right? So you have to make sure that you are studying the limitation and you are studying the current challenges. And to overcome this also, nowadays, the mindset shift is very important. How to make people adopt, and how to increase the skill set of others, of your internals, of your employees. The more you educate your employees, the more that you train them, the more you are creating the value for yourself as a business and for the employees and for your customers, because they are aware how to protect your data and your data is available. So you are increasing your margins, you are faster to the market, and you are efficient and available. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I would like to summarize this by having that in terms of limitations, I think we have three main limitations. The first is the technology availability. As we can see now, the availability of any technology is can act a main limitation for us. Just, for example, just what we are now facing that, for example, when OpenAI released their ChatGPT, it's sometimes limited to some regions. Some regions cannot benefit from the full capabilities and capacity of these kind of technologies. So the availability of technology is one of the main limitations that we have. And then we have the labor limitation, the labor market limitations. Stephan just mentioned in the previous presentation that having the right skills to do the jobs we need in order to have that futuristic kind of digital transformation is crucial to our business. And having the right skills, having the right talents in those places. So I think the labor market can form a very big limitation for us and sometimes. The third thing is the regulations. Sometimes regulations are limiting us, and we need now from regulators to be agile and lean with us in order to be more accessible to those kind of technologies without having limiting us, for example, in terms of having these technologies available for us, and also in order to leverage the capabilities of these technologies. However, for the challenges, I agree actually with Mr. Mazhar when he said that the resistance to change and the culture resistance is the main challenge when we apply these kind of digital transformation and futuristic solutions. So the main thing we need to overcome is to have actually the flexible mindset growing in each part inside our organizations, starting from top to the very lowest levels inside our organizations. So I think that's it for us. I don't know if we can have, with the remaining 3 minutes, some questions from the audience or any inputs, so it's more than welcome. Yes, can we have the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Walaikum salam.
My name is Abdullah. I come from an IT telecommunication background. I'm in the IT supervisor at Riyadh Polytechnic Institute. My question is in general about the AI. One of the big concerns is the privacy of data, and also what Mr. Abdullah mentioned is the security. The other thing is the trust. So it's a big question with different size and different observations. However, my question is, now with the huge greatness of the AI, but the big concern is the security side, the cybersecurity and the security of data, as Mr. Abdullah mentioned, and also the privacy of data. Now we know that ChatGPT, we can have one of the best features is you can upload some data to it and you can ask the ChatGPT to do the analytics for you. This is a great feature. But the concern here, when you upload that data, where is that data is going to? How can we be sure that ChatGPT or whatever the AI service we're dealing with is taking that data, if it's confidential or whatever the data is going to? This is one of the concerns is happening. The other one is the cybersecurity. How can we be sure that AI will never have or will never talk to another AI and they can share the data between them without our notice? Now, some of the security companies, they use AI for defense. And some attackers, they use AI to attack. And some of the backgrounds of the both AIs, they talk to each other, but we don't know in which language they talk. We have no idea how they are communicating between each other. So how can we be certain that these things, they cannot be happen, or in the coming future, or in the meantime?
Thank you so much. I think this is a very good question, guys. So in terms of data privacy and cybersecurity, especially when we are using AI. So yeah, Mr. Suleiman.
Yeah, and from my background in cybersecurity, we cannot make the protection zero. And we always need to have cost-effective investments in security as per the industry. So for example, the restaurants is not like healthcare, it's not like educational, it's not like, so we need to invest, it's not like the banking sector. We need to invest in cybersecurity to make sure we have, complete protection of the information. ChatGPT, it's a transformational moment, as we know. It brings the productivity and the cost of productivity down, big time. However, there are also game changer in cybersecurity for the ChatGPT in terms of it's having natural language. So, we always telling our employees, if you have weak structure, then this is attack. But now with natural language, they will make the attack much stronger. Number two is about coding, as we know. So cybersecurity and hackers, they will leverage this. And again, it will become a game changer using such AI tools to make the hacking more complex and easier. So this is basically the key.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Abdullah.
Also, I'd like to add one critical and very important within the IT organization, the role of the DevSecOps is very important to make sure that we are protecting our data. So we have an operation team, we have developer teams, and so we have to augment our security to make sure all the codes, all the program that our employees are developing are secured enough. And from the operation side also. So that security is in between, looking at the operation side and looking at the development side. So DevSecOps. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want to highlight something here, that when it comes to the emerging AI solutions, just like ChatGPT, for example, these, I think we need to exercise caution when we are using these, especially when we disclose some private data when we are using these kind of technologies. That's why now companies around the world, especially the big, large vendors of technologies, are started to providing actually a private AI solutions that can be suitable for enterprises and can be suitable for organizations to protect these data while benefiting from these capabilities. Just like, for example, Microsoft Azure is now providing an open AI APIs, especially for organizations, protected for their data without having anything to be interfered with other let's say, organizational data across the world. So we need to exercise caution with using these kind of new technologies and emerging technologies, and also look for the opportunities where we can have providers who can provide a trusted and reliable technologies that we can rely on, especially in our big and emerging organizations. So I think that's it. Our time is finished. And thank you so much.